Did Kanye West just cross the line? That's the question I want to ask in this video, okay? That's what I want to figure out. In my latest video, I made a video called Kanye West Just Crossed the Line. And in my opinion, I was bringing up some points that I was showing that some of the things he was saying were just out of pocket, all right? And it was my opinion. I want to say that, and I know there's a lot of people who agreed with my opinion, some of the people who disagreed. So I want to go ahead and respond to some of these comments in this video and break down, answer the question, did Kanye cross a line? Does he deserve a platform still? And how do we determine these types of things? So first of all, shout out Michael John. I know you were a loyal subscriber, so shout out to you for watching the videos, leaving your thoughts. And let's go ahead and read his comment. Hey, young man, shalom. Number one, you have a NASA poster on your wall, and I take it you do not know its history or how many Nazis were smuggled into it in our intelligence community. Yes, I do. I know that some of the Nazi scientists were taken over after World War II, I believe. They contributed to the NASA program. The NASA poster is simply, it's just something I have because I like space. I like these types of things. I'm not necessarily a huge NASA supporter, so that's that. No one has ever made more movies, TV shows, skits, books, and references to the Nazis than Hollywood and the entertainment industry, as long as it follows a certain prescribed narrative. It's a constant echoed reminder as if that's all that ever happened. Again, I'm not supporting the entertainment industry. In my last video, I said I support Kanye's push against the entertainment industry. That's what I was saying, so yeah, not sure what you were saying with that. Just some things to think of while you take time to understand that this is free speech, whether you agree or disagree. It is what it is, and if we can't stand for him or whomever saying that's what's on their minds in commentary or questions, we can kiss the first away for good hints. What's on the agenda and horizon? Shalom, brother. So yes, I'm not disagreeing with this. The First Amendment is something we should absolutely protect. My latest video, I made a lot of comments about Kanye West, and I was saying, he was making some anti-Semitic remarks. He was making some racist remarks, and it's just how it is. I mean, when you say that you think, that you love Hitler, when you say that you think Hitler did some good things, I mean, of course, if we look at every human being, I'm sure there's one or two things that we could pick out. Those are positive things that person did, but I just don't understand the objective, right? Because I think Kanye was saying these things from a perspective of pain or hurt or whatever. He was maybe anger. So saying these things about Hitler, saying that Kanye said he was a Nazi. He literally said, I am a Nazi.
I am. Now what? I am.
You're
now
what?
Now I'm a Nazi, Ari Emanuel.
Right? He owned it. I don't know if he's being hyperbolic. I don't know what the case was, but it was messed up. Now, am I saying that he cannot say these things? No, I'm not saying that at all. Am I saying that he has no right to speech? No, I'm not saying we should shut down Kanye West. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be able to say what he thinks. All I'm saying is that I think he crossed a line morally when he said these things. I would say the same thing if somebody said racist remarks about any race. So that was kind of my whole point there. So I don't entirely disagree with what you were saying, Michael John, but shout out to you for watching the videos. I know you have been watching the videos for a while, so shout out to you for leaving that comment. Next comment is from The Pit. Hitler was a brilliant man. However, he was an evil, vile freak that was pure evil. There's nothing else to say. The man is burning in the fire where he belongs, period. Kanye has lost it. And that's what I was saying in my last comment, right? So the idea that Hitler was a brilliant man, of course. I mean, if we look at many evil people throughout history, they're going to be brilliant people. They're going to be very smart people. They're going to be people that have been innovators in some types of ways, right? But does that mean they're good? No, absolutely not. In most cases, I think some of these people, especially like Hitler, their contributions to society were so overwhelmingly evil that I don't necessarily know what the point is of saying, oh, this person did good things though. Like he did good things. Like I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like it's different if you are objectively analyzing their life. Okay, if you are objectively looking at their life and saying, okay, let's sit down and actually think about what this person did. What did they do good? Even like a biography type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like just straight up, let's take a look at their life. But I don't think that's what was going on here. I mean, like I said, I think these comments were made out of spite for whatever reason. So thank you, Pitt, for your comment. Nathaniel Watkins says, so I guess he didn't cross a line when he said slavery was a choice. White hypocrisy is funny. So Nathaniel, I'm not sure why you're bringing race into this. I mean, that's pretty much racism right there. So shout out to you for making a racist comment. But he didn't cross the line when he said slavery was a choice. And if the thing is this, if you look at what Kanye meant by that, he does not mean slavery was a choice in the sense that people chose to be slaves. There's the historical context of slavery, which is, the African-American slave trade. You have the slave trade over in Africa. You have the slave trade still going on actually in some countries. But then you have the idea of like mental slavery and then like indentured servitude. So Kanye's comments on slavery being a choice was not in the sense that you're thinking they were. If you actually go look at what he said in the context behind it, you'll see that he did not mean it like you think he did. Okay. Next comment, Mixtape Wheezy. He is clearly having a mental breakdown. Marriage, loss of loved ones, divorce, child support, losing $1 billion over a tweet. We have seen horrible breakdown ending and deleting life over all those but one. And that's because he's the only human on the planet who has ever done that. We only noticed going back about 4 years, but he's been breaking a long time. Believing Ye has been a secret Nazi all these years is a hard pill for me to swallow, but I do think he's angry AF and having an episode. And that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Let's go ahead and finish the comment. I'll give you guys some thoughts. Because America has more Nazis than any other country in the world right now, and next to none of them would say to a television, to general audiences what Ye said. And Mixtape Wheezy, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think that what you're saying is wrong, because I think what happened here is I'm going to give Kanye some grace, even though I'm saying what he said is crossed the line. I want to give him some grace, and I want to say that, yes, all those things you listed, the divorce, the public breakup, the child support, the $1 billion loss, all these things he's going through, I think he has a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. And what I said in my first video, if you go back and watch it, is that some of these things that have been happening to him, the people that have done them happen to be Jews. Okay, it does not necessarily mean that that he's justified anything he's saying at all. In fact, I don't think anything he's saying about Jews is justified whatsoever. But I think his actions, his words, I don't think he actually means them. I think he's making these statements about liking Hitler and all these types of things. I think they're provocative statements to try to get back at some of these people that he felt like have wronged him. Okay, I don't necessarily think that he is really meaning what he's saying, if you get what I'm saying. So, Montgomery says, you know you have got some serious problems when you make Alex Jones look sane. And I do want to say there's some truth to this, okay? So, the idea that Alex Jones was made to be normal by Kanye is actually pretty funny. I will say that. Like, even though I like the guy, I think most of the time he's okay. I mean, he made some really ridiculous comments at some points in time with the Sandy Hook situation. There's a couple things you could talk about with Alex Jones that are just a little bit strange, right? But it is funny. Like, it's funny because you could see visibly, and if you look at the video with Alex Jones, you could visibly see him being uncomfortable. He was extremely uncomfortable with the stuff Kanye was saying. He absolutely did not support it at all. So, it was just funny. So yeah, that was definitely funny to see. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Alex Jones was avidly denying this? Because I've seen some people saying that Alex Jones was clearly like against what he was saying. But if you actually look at it, he looked very uncomfortable, but he didn't really come out and say like, yo, you're saying some crazy stuff. And I don't think he's come out since and said, avidly denounce what he said. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Alex Jones is opposed to Kanye and what he said? Let me know right now in the comment section. Rosie says, I think he's stupid or on some medication. It seems like very self-destructive behavior. Maybe he had a point initially, but he doesn't know when to stop. And yeah, I would agree with you, Rosie. I think he kind of had a point initially. He was calling out specific people. He was challenging some people in power positions. And I think with that, you absolutely have a point. You absolutely have a point, because you're calling out specific people. You're listing facts that happened to you. You're showing the evidence, and you're not making these wild claims about generalizing sections of people, races of people, Jewish people. Yeah, you had a point initially. I would agree with that. Kanye definitely had a point, and that's why he had so much support. I mean, he was on Tucker Carlson. He was calling out certain banks. He wasn't calling out certain races of people. He was saying clear statements. He was saying logical statements, but then he crossed a line. Like I said, he crossed a line. I don't know if he's on medication. I don't know if the people he's surrounding himself with are just hyping up this type of rhetoric, but whatever the case may be, I think he hit a point where things started getting more extreme. Okay, you had the Kanye West that was in 2019 was releasing music about Jesus. The album Jesus is King. He was really, his life is about glorifying God. And then you look at, he came out in 2019 as well, was supporting, Candace Owens. He supported Trump with the red hat. That got him a lot of hate. But even those statements were not even that extreme at all. I mean, he was basically taking a political stance, doing some certain things. He helped free a prisoner, with working with the White House. So he was doing some productive things. And I think just recently what happened is he kind of got in his head, a lot of these failures. And as a human being, I mean, that's just a thing. That's just a part of being a human being, is that, when we experience hardship, sometimes it's easy to act out of character. And I want to give Kanye the benefit of the doubt. I want to give him some grace here, because I generally like him. And to bring this all back around to my initial question, does Kanye deserve a platform? As long as you're not inciting violence. I mean, if you look at the First Amendment, freedom of speech, What are the limits on freedom of speech? We already have legal limits on freedom of speech that I think are sufficient. Inciting violence directly, fire in a crowded theater. There are very specific examples that are outlawed right now on freedom of speech, and I think those limits are good. They're good limits, and I think that's about all we need, to be honest, with freedom of speech. So even if you're making repugnant statements, I think you deserve a platform. I think maybe not a platform, but you deserve to be able to say the words you want to say, because at the end of the day, the problem is this: it'll always come down to this: is who is the arbiter of speech? Who determines who it is? And with Twitter, we've seen, the arbiter has gone from a group of highly political people to now pretty much Elon Musk right now. I mean, he's kind of deciding himself who can speak and who cannot, until we have a more objective way of determining this. Really, Elon Musk is the arbiter. So as it stands right now, that's how it is. Do I think it should be that way? No, I think we should have an objective way of determining who's able to speak their mind. How can we determine who's able to speak freely? I don't think it's our decision. I think the freedom of speech is basically a right. It's an unalienable right. How are we going to determine who can speak? Like, that just seems a little bit inhumane to me to even think about that idea. So yeah, I think he deserves to speak, but he's getting into some dicey territory, and I think he just needs to take a step back. What I said in my last video is Kanye needs to take a step back, reassess everything, come back to ground, come back to earth, and take a week, 2 weeks, a month, even off social media, and just go back to normal and see if he still feels the same way. And if he does after that, then we could start talking about some other things. But as it stands right now, I just think he's getting a little bit extreme in his standpoints because of some emotions. That's my opinion. That's kind of what it seems like you guys were thinking too in the comment section down below. So with that being said, thank you everybody for leaving your comments on this episode of Response Time. Like I said, response times go up every single Friday on the channel where I respond to your guys' comments down below. If you guys enjoy political commentary, news analysis, news commentary from a common sense, unbiased perspective, make sure you subscribe here to state the obvious. Make sure you like the video if you made it this far in the video. Subscribe, as I said before. With that being said, I will see everybody next time. Peace out.